Meeting to order tonight. This meeting is held in compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law. Will everybody please stand to salute our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks. Okay, for our attendance, can we please have a roll call? Pat Butler.
Josh Misha.
Dexter Cruz.
Juliana Bella. Susan Callenton.
Joe DiOrio.
Okay, we have in our possession, I believe, the minutes from both July 15th and September 16th. So would you please take a look at those minutes, read them, please, board?
Do you want to do that before swearing?
Yeah, that's good, we can do that. That's true, let's swear. Let's
She's
swear
dying
in,
to get
I'm
sworn
sorry,
in.
you're right, Kimberly, we should swear you in first.
She's been waiting since she was a toddler.
a toddler.
All right, you gotta
Very
stand.
exciting.
Stand.
Yes, he is.
There's the,
Each one of these.
I, Kimberly Paris,
I, Kimberly Powers,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the government
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully
impartially,
and impartially
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
as a member of the Board of Trustees
as a member of the Board of Trustees
of the Roselle Park Veterans Memorial Library
of the Roselle Park Veterans Memorial Library,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Anyone else that has the minutes in their possession?
Can I get to keep
Uh,
the pen?
Take a few minutes and read the minutes from our meetings of July 15th and September 16th, please. See if there are any corrections or additions to those minutes.
Just one thing pending actually from July 15th, which didn't realize till I sent it out, was the resolution. We did want to draft a resolution for the kind of when Susan moves between financial categories. So we could just take that as a carryover for the next meeting.
Okay. Is that okay with everybody? Everybody here with Dexter? Understood with
That
Dexter?
means I have to write up a resolution.
Yeah, but you're gonna, basically I had to follow up to give you some verbiage, but the verbiage is
Okay.
in the minutes, which was just
All right.
circulated, so I think it's appropriate for.
And
I
you will
do.
give me that verbiage. Okay.
And that explanation, then they'll know, and then you could just, we could just do them. So, thank you. Okay, are there any corrections or deletions or additions to the minutes?
Madam
Okay.
President, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Yes. Thank you. I think we'll do a roll call. Yay
Yay.
or nay?
Yeah, and my understanding for Joe's last meeting as well, that you don't necessarily have to be present to look at minutes.
Correct.
Yes, that's right, yes.
Just both sets of minutes.
Okay. Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Minutes have been approved. Thank you. Okay, we have no program or guest speaker tonight. So let's look at the financial report and action on bills, which Susan has in the middle of the table here for you. If you have not received a copy of each of those, would you please get one, or we'll pass one to you. Dexter, you have it?
Dexter has it in his packet.
You have it? Okay. Shiny, do you have the sheet?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Just looking at, just 'cause I'm curious, under library supplies, 123A, better containers, 151, I was
Yeah,
just
those
curious.
are the plastic bags you put books in.
Ones with the flower that we're giving out at the desk,
Yeah, like those.
the plastic bags.
Yeah, the regular,
Oh,
you know,
cool.
like when people take out 10 books, they get, the bags.
Very nice, I got one this week, I went through this.
We have a different one
Wondered.
this time with cars.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they're great. Are there any questions on any of the financial sections, receipts, or bills to be paid?
I have a question. So, the spirit of our new format, I think it's done this last one, it's good. We've got the year-to-date and the actual balance remaining, so it's positive. And I guess we officially have 3 months left, which is the fourth quarter. And the way I read this is there's 103,000 left in the actual, compared to our initial budget.
Yeah.
So how do you think we're doing just from a straight line perspective for the
I
next
think we're doing good.
3 months?
Don't forget October, we got our bills for October, right? They're not on here yet, of
Yep.
course. But, yeah, we've been really low with the spending.
So just as a, point of reference, the fourth quarter of 2014, the actual spend was 104 and change. So, again, I know there's a lot of
Well, this is
differences.
not even including our, we just got our state aid,
Okay,
and it was more than last year. We
Oh,
got,
how much was the
yeah,
latest?
it's $6,978.
okay.
Last year, we got $5,779. So we didn't add that in yet,
Okay.
so that helps.
So are we saying that our budget is actually a little north of,
So it'd be about 110,000. If you add the 7,000.
I don't know how you want to.
Right, just be careful because on the expenditure side, I know you got more money, that's on the revenue side. That's great. Just be careful because if you project this out, you're going to use up that one out of three probably.
Right. We're gonna have to, well, that would be good. Because we didn't put the state aid in.
I thought it was in a.
No, that was projected, but we got 7,000 this year.
So so what's the difference?
Oh, so it'd be a difference of 1,000. Right, is that what you're saying?
Right,
Right.
which just.
Yeah,
still puts you
we're
over.
being very careful as far as spending. I mean, we're not buying, we're being very careful with books until December to see where we stand.
But that's a good,
Because we're all very thirsty, even the plane.
that's would be very thirsty, but it would be a good thing. Okay, any other?
Yes,
other-
yes, Madam President, just a question. Can we have, I don't know, I forgot to bring this up at the last meeting, my apologies. Can we still show on the format the sub-account amounts? Is that possible?
Yeah, I have
How did
copies
that-
here, right here.
Oh, great. Test this out.
Need to know.
Yeah, we need to see that, but, yeah, please. That, because that gives us more depth, so we can see how things are structured within each line item. further questions? Okay, can I hear a motion to approve the financial?
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report.
Okay, can I hear a second? Second. Thank you. Report has been approved. Let's go. We have no program or guest speaker this evening, so.
Right.
Any correspondence?
No. Well, I don't know if you consider this correspondence. Catherine Jones, Shelver left, has resigned. And she wrote me a little note. You want me to read that?
Sure.
Okay. To quote Sarah Brighton and Andrea Bocelli, it is time to say goodbye. I have had the opportunity to read many books to which I would never have been exposed to and learned so much. I'd like to take my leave on October 16th. Thank you for all your help and kindness and for putting up with all my long runaway stories. Take care and be well, Catherine Jones.
Oh, very nice. She's a nice lady. We wish her well.
Yes, and I'm not, I never would have replaced her yet. I think we should all shelve the books.
Can
Let's
you,
see what happens next year.
would you
We'll
be
get a
able to send
volunteer.
me her address so that the board can send her
Sure.
congratulations on her
Yeah, sure.
retirement card? Or
Absolutely.
a letter?
That would be nice.
Thank you. Okay, President's report. This is the contact trivia. I love it outside. I hope you all had a chance to view the dramatic changes outside taking place on our library grounds. Wow. I planted about 30 plants with Charlene and the DPW on Friday morning. Azalea bushes, what fun we had doing it, and some children came, and some adults came with their children and helped out. And my gosh, then I had to leave at 12:30, and then more people came. It was wonderful. It's amazing we all work together. It's just such a great feeling when that happens, and in our town it happens a lot. So I really enjoy it. And I think it's just by the time everything is finished, it's just going to look like a brand new library out there. So more people will
Already
be
looks
coming,
fabulous.
and the curb appeal is in, so we'll get more people in the building, I think. So
And they
yeah,
just put
great
the
improvement.
light today by the
By the
Christmas
tree. Oh, how
Beautiful.
nice. Nice.
Everybody's coming in and saying
Well,
how
it's just.
wonderful it looks
It's
already.
amazing. It's just so wonderful to work with such creative and talented people here in Roselle Park in all areas. I want to thank Ruben, Joe, and Pam for that wonderful Roselle Park Rose Arts Day. What a great job you did. Congratulations.
It's a team effort.
People are still talking about it. It was a wonderful job. I went to a recent reception at the LUCC. I'm sure I say that right, in Elizabeth with Susan and Kimberly. You were there too. There's trustees. And I saw a freeholder there who came to the program, and she raved about it. She said, it was such a great idea. I had such a good time. It was so wonderful. So, great job, Joe. Pass it on to Pam,
Pass it on to the group.
please, and the group. I mean, everybody did such a great job with you too with the car show. It was just wonderful. And it was so nice too that the library was open too, to
We
accommodate
did
the
books and
extra hours.
bathrooms. We were B&B.
Did you? Good for you. Good for you. That's wonderful.
That's what we were programmed for.
That's good.
And if I may, want to thank the library too for
For B&B.
so, but I encourage the library, maybe we can look at this, the library can be next year.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
The nets are on. I have an hour to get home.
I think we have a little
Are you
time.
crazy? We'll talk some
But
more.
you know,
But
it's-
seriously speaking,
it's wonderful.
just on the record, let's do something together, because if the space is available and the grounds are available, I think we do even more, seriously speaking.
Then books and bathrooms? Wow, you mean like actually like authors here, things like that?
Really, so what I would do is maybe think now, maybe with staff, with the board, if you have authors available, like, let's book them
All right,
down.
well in advance.
Yeah, seriously.
All right.
The Casana Center worked out well. It was a great venue, but I think having a venue here would work out great also. Maybe to some degree even better, because with an author, you have it with them.
Yes.
So, it would be a nice
Okay.
So,
We'll plan something.
I've extended the olive branch. And you've extended.
You think? I don't know. We'll think about it. Takes more than an olive branch with this
You
one.
got a bottle of
That might be nice.
Well, I have to say too, you know, whenever I have a problem and I need an extra place where I think I'm gonna get a bigger crowd for a program, Susan graciously offers the library. And she did for a program we had recently, one of our trustees, Bob Kluge, who is an avid collector of stocks and bonds, did a great program on his hobby and journey through life. He was a banker on Wall Street for years. It was an interesting program. We had it downstairs. We used the LCD projector. People at the Historical Society prepared all the PowerPoint slides, and it was a very interesting talk. We didn't have a huge attendance, but we were anticipating a big crowd because he has a good following in Union County. But you know, it was one of those great days. It was a Saturday, and you know, it was just hard getting people in.
People, at
We
least.
had 7 really interested people.
Yeah.
And thank you for lending us the room downstairs, because that
Anytime.
really, really worked.
Just FYI, if I may, I'm sorry to interject again, but the movies and film that Bobby Rivers did worked out really well. But I think here would be better if you want to use them during the year. That was actually something new for him. Yeah.
We're gonna have an author in a couple of weeks, what?
Nice. Stuff.
Who's living with you?
Yes.
Well,
It's
then-
even better.
Even better.
No, but it worked out so well, and I
Yeah.
think if marketed, target market, that discussion would work better.
Good. Let's do it. I'm always up for that.
And it was also my pleasure this month to attend the LUCC reception for trustees at the Elizabeth Public Library with Kim Powers. And we had a wonderful time. And we heard Mary Jane Clark, who is the mother-in-law of Mary Higgins Clark, another mystery writer. And she spoke, and there were many people there. It was a really nice opportunity to network and meet other people in Union County. And I also attended the council meeting on October 15th at 7 p.m. with Rosh Misheth to honor the library summer reading program volunteers. And the event quickly went to the dogs, in fact. Susan can explain later with her director's report. And it was just it was a wonderful event. So thank you for doing it.
The
for our
dogs were
volunteers.
great.
The dogs were wonderful. And that's the end of my report. So we have the Children's Department report next.
Call DPW.
Children's,
I'm sorry.
Children's Department
Children's,
report.
yes, children's. Okay, I'm not gonna go through a lot of this, but 233 at our program attendances. We have conversational French, Crazy Eights Math Club, Read to the Dog, various story times, chess club, Lego club. Our special programs of the story times and all these others. We're collaborating with the Roselle Park schools as far as grades K through 8 book selection, summer reading, Roselle Park. I guess Ellen's doing this, I don't. She conducted 5 technology by appointment sessions at the library teaching basic math skills and helping with Windows 10 and Kindle Fire user issues. Ellen does one-on-one here. So if somebody has an issue with their computer, they come in and they schedule an appointment with her. She also conducted 3 introduction to computers, did classes at the Casano Community Center, teaching seniors basic mouse, keyboard, computer, and internet skills. And it's going over very well. They're very happy to have her there. October 31st is their annual Halloween party and costume parade. Circulation was 1,540, and between books, magazines, and videos, it was a total of 10 items. And,
Thank you. And now your director's report.
oh, one other thing, I also have Miss Kid has a.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
The schools, I guess, put this in their newsletter. Miss Kid story time with Robert Gordon. Miss Kid from the Roselle Park Library came to Robert Gordon to read to both kindergarten classes. The children love the story and Miss Kid's captive storytelling. And she's going to be doing that on a regular basis. Not only just 2 classes, I think she's going to be doing like 6 kindergarten classes. So I'm excited about that.
It's a great outreach program for the library to be doing.
Yes, yes, yes. So we're all about outreach. And that's it for the children's.
And now your director's report.
Okay, let's see. issue 45 cards to new patrons. September 10th, Kate and I visited Document Solutions office to check out new computers. Our lease with CCP and Leaf will be expiring at the end of December, so I've sent both companies a letter of intent as to our dissolving the relationship with them. And I've met 2 other copier company representatives, so we're figuring out where we want to be with that. By December, we'll have a new, or January, we'll have a new computer, a new copier. Attended a luck meeting in New Providence on September 18th, which included an all-day insurance seminar, which was very interesting. So an insurance person there who was discussing different, making sure that your library is insured and different, just talking about things that could happen, like catastrophes, and it was very interesting. September 18th, Kit and I attended an author dinner featuring David Rosenfeld, who's up there, dog tags and all that, at the South Brunswick Library. He's the author of our very favorite book called Dog Tripping. He owns, him and his wife rescue dogs, and at the moment in his house he has 35 golden retrievers. They live up in Maine.
Because they have bigger houses.
They have a big...
Is he willing to come for an author program?
He does do author programs, but he gets a big crowd, so I'm not sure where we would go. Maybe if we did it like in a restaurant and pull South Brunswick Library. I don't know if anybody's ever been there.
Yeah.
It's not only is it huge, it's gorgeous.
That's right.
It is just a beautiful library. I mean, you can tell that they love their library there. September 19th was Roselle Park Loves Art Day, in which the library conducted a book sale. September 24th, I attended an LMXAC board meeting. The 28th, we did our book discussion group, and Monday is our new book discussion, 1,000 Splendid Suns. And Kim, Kim is in our group. September 29th, I attended a How to Build a Better Board program at the Freeland-Heisen Arboretum in Morristown, which was very interesting too. October 13th, Michelle Bach and I attended the Luck reception along with Pat and Kim, which Pat talked about. And it was all about it was all about library advocates and honoring them. October 16th, I attended LMXAC membership and board trustee meeting at Edison Public Library. The 19th, I attended the Citizens Advisory meeting at the Roselle Park High School,
Thank you for
which I
joining
love
me.
those meetings.
It's a very important group.
Very. Facilities management, DPW installed new locks on the elevator and furnace room. Construction has begun on the library grounds. The blueprints have been posted in the library for the planting and the bench placement. I heard we get all our benches.
All the benches were sold.
Because people are coming in asking if there's any more that they could buy. So I said, well, maybe in the future. Who
If
knows?
anybody would
Sell
like a
some
plaque
furniture.
dedicating the spruce to them, they feel like spending a little bit more money.
More than 800?
The spruce was, well, believe it or not, we went through a lot and really got a really low price, and it was over $3,000. Originally they were looking at over $5,000. Every plants are expensive. Believe me, we negotiated.
No, I believe it. That's a beautiful tree.
It is a beautiful tree, but they're all expensive.
Yeah.
But yes, but we did sell out on the benches, which was really nice.
Yeah.
Bless you.
October 8th, the fence was repaired by National Fence Company after being driven into by a patron. October 6th, the fire alarm went off and the elevator discontinued working. The next day, the elevator was reprogrammed. The fire department came, they couldn't figure out really what went wrong, but
No repeat
no.
performances.
No, it hasn't
Okay,
happened
good.
since. The wall bracket's been put up, as you can see as you walk in over the children's room door. There's going to be a television screen that will be installed, and this will play continuously with events at the library within the community. And at the casino center also has one.
Yes. And there'll be one in Borough Halls.
October 16th, the planning at the library. I contacted Triad about the panic alarm button, and they sent a new proposal, which was the same amount as the last year's proposal, but now that we have the capital money, I'll be submitting that tomorrow when I go pick up the checks, so they'll have it installed by the next meeting. Staff and volunteer issues, part-time library assistant Catherine Jones resigned. Some of the staff members received flu shots at the Borough Hall. October 15th, the library honored our summer reading volunteers. Trustee issues, we'll be swearing in our new trustee, Kim Powers, at this meeting. And we received our state aid check in the amount of $6,978. Last year's amount was $5,779. Don't ask me how they calculate it. It's always more. And we've been doing our 49 and a half shades of pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we have a table over there with yarn, crochet hooks, knitting needles, and patterns. And patrons can create whenever the library is open. And so far, we have at least 40 hats that people have on. I mean, they're just beautiful. Can you just go down here and get a couple of hats? You have to just see some of them. They're just fabulous. Bring the one on the beer. In there, right there.
I
Right by
talked
my
about it
office.
at the Casano Center meeting.
And that's my report.
Thank you.
I should have put them down for these hats.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. These people have done it.
Okay, the report from our superintendent of schools.
October is, among other things, violence.
Okay, the report from our superintendent of schools.
Sure. October is, among other things, Violence Prevention Week, the Week of Respect, etc. So across the schools, lessons were going on, counselor activities and assemblies. Also, following the tragedy of last spring, the district had invited, in conjunction with the police department, New Jersey Transit to come in and speak to the schools. Aldine and Sherman had their train safety assemblies so on the 20th, with the other schools to follow. I'm sure you've seen in the news that the park scores will be released in mid-November. There will be an upcoming presentation once we receive those scores by the superintendent at the Board of Education. This year, the superintendent instituted what he's calling the Superintendent Chats. They are hosted at various schools. I believe it's 2 in each school over the course of the year. At this point, let's see, he has had 2. The first one attended by 18 parents at the high school, and I believe there was, I'm sorry, that's correct, 1 at the high school so far with 18 parents, and they continue monthly. The November session is at Aldine School. The technology initiative, which was kicked off in September, is continuing and is on schedule. The middle school laptop distribution, which is going to be a one-to-one device to student initiative, is being rolled out beginning in the middle of November. Staff training continues on the Office 365 suite. From the individual schools, we start with, on the elementary level, programs are essentially consistent with a few minor tweaks. This year, all of the elementary schools were upgraded to only 1 full-time computer teacher, where before they were shared 2 teachers for the 3 elementary schools, meaning an increase in computer instruction, but that also comes with a decrease in the available times for library book exchange because they share the same space. All classrooms across all 3 elementary schools continue to build classroom libraries to deepen the balanced literacy program and the opportunity for children to read just right books. Robert Gordon mentioned that Miss Kit from the library does come in to read to classes, and also says that their Picture Person program is off to an excellent start. Many parent volunteers come in to present various artists to the students, and on October 28th, an art gallery will be set up in the gym. All 3 elementary schools also are at various stages of instituting their reading challenge programs. The middle school reports that the 6th graders recently Skyped with the author Chris Gravenstein, who wrote The Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library, which was required summer reading. Mrs. Carbati set it up, and the students came to the auditorium to interact with the author. They also have several videos that the students were involved in making for certain occasions and then viewed in lieu of Channel 1 that day. So there was a 9/11 video for Patriots Day, another on School Safety Month, which is in October. Along with the help of Mr. Duncan, they created a school safety video touching on basic building safety, such as not running in the hallways, internet safety, etc. And book fairs continue in all three of the schools. The high school reports that Teen Read Week display is getting a lot of attention. And they asked whether the library has textbook copies or online versions available so that students are able to work here.
We don't have the textbooks.
Don't know. Okay. I don't know if that is a question sort of to give you a sense. But
Yeah,
that was,
We can't have a textbook of where would we put 'em?
okay, so
But they do go online and do work, if
Right.
that's what they're getting online. But for us to have every single textbook here would be
okay, so
First
you
of
do not
all-
have hard copies. Okay.
no.
Right, well, the reason that, I'm just asking, the reason that the high school and the schools are not buying as many textbooks is because they are so outrageously expensive, is that correct?
I don't have firsthand knowledge of the high school's buying of textbooks. I can say that on the elementary level, we have not bought a new textbook series in a while. We do rely more on digital resources, or as I mentioned before, the balanced literacy program, the use of school libraries as opposed to a basal reader. And obviously a trend toward using online and
Just because
digital
the
resources.
information goes out of date so quickly in today's world, those textbooks become, they're so outrageously expensive today. There's fewer and fewer districts using them statewide. And then, actually what happens is they're using online resources more than ever before. So if there's a site that the library could maybe load onto a computer for students to use here, could you let us know what that site would be?
Certainly.
So
So
students
you
could access it
would be
here?
willing to provide digital access based on what that means providing.
Well, if you're buying a software package that would give the students at the school digital access, say for 4 computers, and maybe this license is for 8 computers. Maybe 4 other computers could be the 4 computers here. If
Like
you
the
feel
4 Chromebooks we're
exactly,
getting.
if you feel that students would access the library for that to do work here, I mean, it might be a nice kind of a program as long as the school district is willing to pay for the software for us.
Well, I know from having
Could do that.
a 4th grader in my house that he does a lot of his work. A lot of it is remote access through the school. So all you need is a computer. You wouldn't actually need to download anything.
Just a code and a number to get in,
Right,
right?
and a code and a number to get in. Right?
So, that would be something maybe Susan and Helen could set up depending on grade, whether it was in the
Well, I
children's
think
room or
everybody
here.
has their own code,
Yeah.
don't they? In their own login, yeah.
On login, there is a site.
They probably have
like
to get
for
into the
MacBook,
school.
There is
Mhm.
a site, they
Yeah.
have their own login,
Right.
and that's how they do it.
Do you find that there's still a need for textbook access?
On an elementary level, no, but I can't speak to their usage in either middle school or high school.
Because the other thing that comes to mind is if you think that there are textbooks that the school, for whatever reason, there's some kind of activity happening in that particular class that you think there'll be more usage. So I'm not thinking about the whole shelving set of these textbooks, but to certain targeted textbooks that you think might be used a lot, students would have better access.
Yeah, we could put on a card.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe not,
had
it's sort of like a
extras.
rotating kind of. That's way to put it.
Yeah, I could put on a card.
But that, would go based on the board's recommendation, I think is better suited for the students.
I'm not sure with that. Most of them have their books with them.
Yeah, I'm just
But our
curious.
backs are breaking.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm just curious because if the suggestion is coming from the school, there must be a logical reason why it would be easier for us to have them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe as a reference point.
Or like if kids forget their
Forget it,
books,
yeah.
they could always come to the library because the school closes.
I know more and more districts statewide are keeping up with the educational trends. They are moving away from textbooks. Not only because of cost, but because of information accuracy, you know, for students. Oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Because things are changing so rapidly in our world. And it's very expensive for school districts to purchase at $500 a clip a textbook for a student. You know, sometimes.
And that concludes the superintendent.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to our liaison for parent council.
Well, as we talked about earlier, everyone is coming along. Our target date is Veterans Day, so that everything will be in order for the Veterans Day celebrations. We should be a little earlier than that. We have all the plants that are in, I think, are planted now. We still have some trees that are on back order. They have to come in, the mulch has to be put down. And the sod, right now, we're looking at, again, as a cost-saving measure, rather than having the sod installed, having the sod come and see if a separate installation would save us a little bit of money. But that will all be done. And then we are also, and this is something that I'd like to talk to you about at some point, maybe next week, Susan, talking about what we can do right here on the side of the library. We will get sod there, so that will be looking better. And, let's see what else we can come up with to just kind of press that up a little bit. But basically it is done, and as we mentioned, all of the benches are sold, so that's great. We're really coming along very nicely. And all credit to Sean Ryan, who has done such a wonderful job of designing. And I know he was out there all day Friday, all day Saturday, well, they knocked off, and so on. So he has really been on the spot, volunteering his time and his expertise. He has been wonderful. And I'd like to thank Pat for coming out and putting in all morning working on those azaleas.
I was determined to get number 30 done. It's hard clay to get
Yes,
through.
it is hard clay.
But you also, we
And,
both
you
worked
get
so
that
hard.
nice soil on top, but then you
And
do
it's
hit that
really
clay.
tough down there.
No
Our
two ways about it.
DPW was really
And, well, yes,
Great.
they did a great job, and particular help from our point of view was getting, and Caterpillar gets our thanks for this, lending us a machine for a week. to
And thank you,
dig holes.
Charlene, for
They did.
spearheading this whole project.
Well, but
because
they did,
this is just a
but
great
Caterpillar
vision.
was wonderful. I mean, Caterpillar, we presented it to them as, how about sending us a demo? But they said, oh, were you thinking of buying one? And we said, no. So, I mean, they understood, we made it clear. We were not misrepresenting what we were doing. We explained that we were working on this, and they said that they would send us one per week, which I think was a really, really nice thing for them to do. And it was a big help, especially with the holes for the trees.
Oh, yeah.
So that really helped move things along. But I think that we're doing well, and the sprinkler system, and I neglected to say, the sprinklers are in.
They are.
They're in.
Great.
Yes, it was very interesting watching how that works too, like
Yeah.
that whole process. It's,
Excellent. Do you still need volunteers to plant?
I don't think so, because we will only have those few trees once, and I don't know when they're coming in. They are expected to be in before to celebrate. Well, they have to come in. The benches will be shipped on November
Boxwoods are
1st,
over here.
and they'll be within, I think, 3 days after that. And then the monuments, the little services, things that they're on order. They're promised to be in. So hopefully everything will be in order. And we have an interesting special speaker lined up. So I think it'll be a very nice. Of course, Veterans Day, appropriately is November 11th. That does always give you the downside of it being a weekday, but we hope as many people get here as possible can.
Great. Well, thank you for all you did. It looks wonderful out there. It's so exciting to see.
Just to add to that, when I was at the advisory committee meeting, the director of the Early Childhood Center was saying that the shop class was building a little lending library to put outside their building
That's
with
something
children's
I-
books.
Well, but like those
So that's what we
pictures that I
talked
gave you.
about, right?
Right. That would be wonderful if
So it'd be
we could
great
get
if the
that.
shop class would
Right.
do one for us.
Absolutely.
So we could stick it out there.
Yeah.
And also, they're starting a gardening club, they were telling us, which they haven't gotten off yet, on its feet.
Right.
But maybe by the time, spring rolls around, they might be willing to come and help with all the new plantings perhaps by then, So,
Yeah, if they can do that, if we can talk to them, that would be wonderful. I'd love to have one or two of those and a couple of,
That would be fun.
and that would be like a little gathering area for people, especially kids, to sit and read.
Yeah, it would be nice. Well, as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, we thought of that too.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
We've talked about it, so.
thank you. Okay, then we'll move on to reports of officers and standing committees. Jen. Okay, then we're going to go to reports of special committees. We have them at this point. And then we'll open our public portion of our meeting. Can someone move to open the public portion, please?
A motion to open the public portion?
Do I hear a second? Okay, the public portion is now open. Are there any members of the public who would like to come up and speak? Please come up, state your name, address the trustees, and ask your question. Yes, Mr.
Jacob, you have a 6-Pro Sheridan Avenue, Roselle Park.
You can't sit though. You can approach, but you can't sit.
I just copy and paste your name and address from the other minutes.
Yeah,
I got it all
Copy and
for
paste.
every meeting going forward. So.
Some of the women have such sweet, low voices. I can't hear. I can hear their responses. So
Can't hear you.
I guess. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Kimberly Powers on her appointment to graciously accepting the appointment to the Board of Trustees. And Pat, didn't you do something over at the outside here on Saturday?
I was out there quite a few days, to be truthful. I was out there puttering around a little bit at the DPW, trying to help a little bit.
Perhaps
Too early in the morning though, see, I got caught. Trying to put a few more trees in and putting some dirt in the right places.
the council, mayor and council can recognize the volunteers.
This is a group
I mean,
effort.
this
This was
president
a
of
group
the,
effort.
I
the
need to find out
library.
the name of those two women.
I have them.
Oh, you do have
I
them?
do.
Okay, good.
Because I actually wrote them a little letter. Is that okay? Just from the Board of Trustees. Sometimes I'll just do these things because they brought their two
Their
children,
kids,
a little girl, a little boy, Enrique, and I forget her
I
name.
think they
she's
overlapped with you and me,
wonderful.
because I came back
Did
from
they
that
stay
gravesite
when-
ceremony, and they were, and
Oh,
work
that's
again,
great.
and they were still working.
But thank you, Jake.
So they put
I
in-
had to
they
leave
put
to
in
go.
quite an amount of time.
Oh, that's great. I had to leave to go because it was 4 Centuries weekend on Saturday and Sunday. By the way, I forgot to mention we had 141 people for 4 Centuries weekend. But I had to go and scrub the floor in the museum and wash everything down, and so I had to leave and do that on Friday, so I couldn't stay the whole time on Friday.
Well, you put in
Came
a
back a
lot of
little bit
hours
on
Friday.
Saturday. I've been taking a lot of pictures out there. But thank you. I appreciate that, Jake.
Also, I'm glad you folks went back to the old way of expenses line items. However, I see here line item 101 for August, $24,198.60. July was $16,132, and then September was $16,132. Why such a difference? In August, did the wages go up?
Which line item
Well,
are,
some months
One-
have,
oh,
some
one-
months have 3 pay
one-
periods.
give her a number,
101.
one of them.
Yeah, well, some months have 3 pay periods. Instead of two.
It's July, I think it's August and December this year. July and December, but you probably paid out in
Through August.
August. 26 pay periods versus month. Do you pay bi-weekly versus?
Yes,
twice a month?
bi-weekly, yes.
And
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, most months you would get, most employees would get paid twice. They're paid every 2 weeks, but then eventually you're gonna hit a month where they're paid 3 times because it's every 2 weeks. Actually, that will happen twice. Once it happened and we see it reflected in August, it will happen again in December, will probably be
In Jan-
reflected in January.
yeah, and in 2014 it happened in July, reflected in July and December. So those were two. It'll happen 2 out of the 12 months.
Because you get paid 26 times a year, not 24.
People look at it as a nice bonus check for them. But
That answers my question. Thank you.
good question.
Thank you. Okay, are there any other members of the public tonight who would like to come up and address the board? Out there. So,
I get
seeing
it.
none. All right. Seeing none, can I please have a motion to close the public portion?
So moved.
Second? Thank you. Public portion is now closed. Okay, old business. Any old business? I have none. Any new business?
One thing I was thinking about is 111 category book. But I like to know what's the process of selecting new books or getting new videos or getting for the children books 111B.
Okay, Rashmi, what are you looking at in particular so we can follow
Right
with you?
here, what?
She's looking at the receipt list.
101.
What is the process?
Yeah, like how do you select which books to buy?
Well, I guess because we know our population, we know what most of the kids like to read. And as far as the fiction, I buy most of the fiction. It's what people want. And we buy most of them on the bestseller list. And I also read a lot of reviews,
Okay.
trade magazines, that kind of stuff. And Ellen also. We like
Okay.
to buy the series, especially the children's room, if the children like. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to know that, like, for a book, just like a line and say, hey, I bought this because of this review, or I bought this because it's bestseller, something like that.
Yeah, we buy a lot of books though, a lot of videos. I'm not sure.
When you put an order in, I mean, you can put a line on there in the word.
I guess we could.
I mean, I would like to know that.
All right. Well, maybe not on every book, but maybe like every other or every
Yeah,
third.
like a group
Yeah.
of books or something.
Okay.
Like how
Good
many
idea.
computer books you're buying, how many story books you're buying, how many fiction books you're buying, things like that.
Okay.
Just
That sounds good.
what magazines and periodicals.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Would it be easier for you to just a list was printed out?
Of what?
Whatever purchase, if you have that in your reports, if you can see what the purchases that have it, what did we get rid of?
I guess because, well, sometimes we order stuff as back order, so we actually have it for 3 months.
Right, but when it hits your system, like when it actually gets
Yeah.
Well, then
logged
you
in a
can
shelf,
see it in our catalog.
so is that something that can be printed, like,
New
like a
books,
month?
so to
New
speak.
books.
Yeah, like in your director's report, new books purchased that's been shelved.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of labor intensive when you can
I'll
just
make
go
it
on the
easier.
computer and look under new books. I mean, if you want me to print it out, I will.
Yeah, I'm just trying
We'll
to
try.
make it easier for you.
No, it's not
I'm gonna write a
easy.
review on each
Just have
one.
to-
No, I'm not gonna write a review.
Well, that's what I'm.
Yeah, I'll just write a list of most of our new books that we get.
Just if you have it ready already, you can just print it out.
Okay.
Okay, any other new business items?
I just have one thing that I
Yes.
just wanted to pass by Charlene. I spoke to the head of DPW, and I know we've discussed this years and years about getting an awning for the front of the library.
Okay.
And he said that he would find some, I don't even know who I would ask for this, so he said he would find some companies to come
I'll
in.
remind him,
And
I
give
know
me
he's
an
got
estimate.
a lot going on.
I know he does.
But
But I'm
Let's keep it
thinking,
going while we're thinking library.
no, but I'm thinking awning because we've always had problems, you know, with the rain seeping into the children's room.
Sure.
And I thought if there's any money left over in this
Well,
gardening thing,
no, there won't be any money left over, but let's see if we can,
see what we can
squeeze
do.
out, you know, let's find out what it costs,
Yeah, because I
let's
have
look
no
at it.
idea.
So
what it would
a
cost.
portico essentially is
Like a
what you're talking about.
portico over the,
Portico
especially
essentially,
where people walk.
or kind of a.
It would be nice to
awning
have some.
let's
portico.
find out what we're talking about financially and so on, if not, you know, not here, maybe we'll do it next year.
And
but
before it
let's-
goes up or on.
Let's find out what the
those
money
trees are
is
gonna have to
Yeah,
be
because I have no
severely
idea what we're even
that
talking
hang over
about, like as
because
far as
they will
money
just fall and
Right.
or anything, so.
they're just-
No, everything, believe me, as we've gone through this and.
Everything's
as I
in
say,
the
we've,
thousands, you're right.
Oh, everything is, and, you know, yet, you know, we've found, but, you know, negotiating and sometimes playing hardball, we've been able to get some things in, but everything is so expensive,
Oh, I
any
know.
way you look at it.
Even if you do a remodeling in your house, everything's thousands.
Yeah, tell
It's
me
not
about it.
100 anymore. Also, one other thing, this is like a town thing I was thinking of doing. In fact, it's sort of something like this. In November, I think it's November 20-something, is a day of giving back. And it would be nice if the community could get involved. There's something called Chase the Chill. And have you heard of it?
Yeah.
I am not familiar with it. Can you
Okay,
tell
well,
me?
now that I figure we have all these trees and everything, towns, for a whole month, people get together and they make scarves, either out of felt, or they don't even have to make them, they could just donate hats and scarves. And then they put a little note on each thing saying, you know, please take this if you're cold, etc. And they put them all through the town on trees, on flagpoles, on lights, so that people don't
Yeah,
have
they
to
do
ask
climb
for
up.
stuff. Well, I don't mean high up,
I know, I'm just joking.
you know, or a
Just
fire
like a
hydrant,
student.
so that people at nighttime, if they're
Would that be
cold,
Giving
Yeah.
Tuesday?
Kind of like the
it could
sneakers
be
over the
Giving
wire.
Tuesday. So we could drape the whole
Sneakers
town.
over the wire.
And also, I thought we could send some to the Casano Center in their food pantries.
Yes. Giving Tuesday, it says here, is Tuesday, December 1st.
Oh, I guess it's different this year.
Well,
Maybe I'm
that's all
looking
right,
at it
that's
last
good,
year.
that's a good day.
Okay,
Any day is a good day.
but it doesn't even have to be that day. It could be any time. So what do you think about that?
I think that's a lovely idea.
That we can drape it over the
Well,
town?
I think putting them at locations rather than at things outside where it can get wet and gross and damage trees that we spent thousands of. No, I'm just thinking, you know.
Well, but we could certainly.
But I mean, the idea of
it,
putting them in places is probably wonderful. We have enough number of
We might even, well, maybe
buildings.
some of the merchants would cooperate.
That's right, exactly.
You know, people
Exactly.
could put them in a little plastic bag or something.
Exactly.
like that, yeah.
The idea is for people not to have to ask for it.
Yeah.
That if they're
I
walking
have
around
to
at night from the train
You're
station and
embarrassed.
you're cold, you can
And you know, the
grab
train
a...
station is a good example.
Yeah.
of
And we could leave
someplace-
them at the train station.
Absolutely.
That's perfect.
And when I
Good
tell
luck with
you, that would be
New Jer-
excellent.
Just don't tell New
Benches.
Jersey Transit you're doing it.
Don't tell
They'll
them
want,
it's
they'll
us.
want you to get permission and then they'll be starting a committee
All
about
right,
it
forget
sometime
it.
in the next 10 years.
That's a nice idea.
But we could
No
maybe
trees.
tape a couple to the ticket machines or, we can do something, we'll find a
Yeah.
way.
All right, good.
Sorry, just ask me just because then I'm just, is it for people who need it in general or
No,
people
but
who need
you
it at
don't
that point in
ask
time?
questions. There's
Like-
no questions asked.
Or you're what, is it for a, like, the
Could be
train
for a
station?
fleeting need and it could be
Is it-
for a,
Nobody asks questions. That's the whole idea. You put it
No
out
questions.
there and people
I'm
can
just
just
saying, I'm
take
walking
it.
back from the train and it's cold, I'm coming around picking up a scarf from,
From what? That somebody made? A beautiful scarf that somebody made?
no, I'm just saying, I,
well, then you can phrase it.
no, that's what I'm just giving you the, and I do. I'm just trying to understand what the, you know, I think if it's for people
I
in
think
need.
it's
I think
basically
I think
for
it's to make
people
a
in
nice,
need.
but I think it's to make a nice gesture at
Right.
the holiday times and to kind of open up the idea of giving and.
Well, I
you have
know-
the success, stories
It's
in
been
other
very
towns?
successful in towns.
It
Check
has
it out. It's
been,
called
yes.
Chase the Chill.
I have
And
it
even in
here.
towns that aren't like impoverished, but in just towns in general. But also, one of the, what's the agency in the town that gets money for, they're building birdhouses.
Rotary.
The Rotary.
Right. And that's for Roselle Park children for the backpack program.
And
For
by the way,
children-
some of those birdhouses, very elaborate, really nice.
Yeah, and this is for children who are food insecure on the weekends. You know, so every community has people that need.
Yes.
And I'm a big,
Hey, so we try it, and if it's a success, it's a success. If
But
it's
you know,
not,
to
if
have it
not, we
here
give it away to
in the
homeless
library would
shelters.
probably be great, to have it indoors here. I mean, you could have it here.
This is,
You
do you
know.
want me to read this?
Oh, good.
And the
Read
casino
it, Joe.
center.
It's a loose coalition of stitchers and groups who independently make scarves throughout the year and then come together in late fall to paint the town with yarn. See how they do it on the meters, parking meters and things. There are a few rules. Anyone can participate in any part of the process. And this one is in Easton. Join us in the Easton, start your own event in this location. The annual graffiti yard bonding event that distributes scarves in other places so that those in need, regardless of income and without any qualifiers, can help themselves. Scarves draped on trees, bridge, walkways, signs, other public locations appeared overnight in downtown Easton, PA for the first time in late fall 2010. Each one included a hang tag inviting anyone to claim ownership of this scarf. It celebrates the art. See, I like we part of Rose Park themselves.
You know what? I was just
Celebrate-
thinking that.
Celebrating the art and beauty of knitting and crocheting, building community, generating positive interest in vocation and sharing with others. So basically it's like a yarn bonding event. So throughout the whole year, you do your crocheting, and then at one night, everyone goes out, puts these things, and then the next morning everyone
Well,
wakes
that's
up.
just
it's like,
one thing. But the
Yeah.
other ones, they do have them there for like a week
Okay,
or
well,
so.
that's-
Yeah,
so
there's
that-
others, but this is like, that's the whole idea. That's the whole basic idea. So it doesn't have to be that. It could also be felt. It could be people donating scarves and hats. It started out with this, the crocheting. See how it looks? Can you turn it around and show everybody?
I appreciate it.
And this was draped in the town, in the front of the, in
See
the,
that?
Oh,
street.
okay,
See?
all right, that's a whole different, yeah, okay.
See,
Down the
this looks like it
business
was like
district
designated
or-
in a particular
Yeah, it was
street.
probably designated. They probably, like, if we went all the way down.
Just that.
You're laughing, but I think it's a great idea.
Dexter was asking, would it be like a swap? So like you need the gloves, but then you leave them somewhere else, and then there's someone else, right? That's what you're asking. He was asking, like, suppose you need, but you need the gloves.
You're making it very complicated.
No, but think about that. That's also a good idea. So you take the gloves and you leave them. He knows that he's going to walk to here, so he leaves them there. And then someone else who needs them, maybe on the way to the train station, would use them. It's like a, but of course,
It'll work well with umbrellas, actually.
yeah, exactly. Right, you paint the umbrellas. Right, you paint the umbrellas.
That's right.
You paint the umbrellas,
I like
and you
it.
have them on rainy days.
Definitely.
Right? And it's a design, so it'd be like RP, and you have artists do them. That'd be a good idea. And just leave them there, and it's like a swap kind of thing. I think that's what he was saying. I don't think he was saying, like, I want to be selfish and just get gloves and take them home. Right?
But that's not being selfish.
No, but the way he was being perceived, it was like.
No, he said he wouldn't wear them. Somebody else's.
No, I think what I'm seeing there is a little more as an organized.
Well, that's what we're
I
doing,
see. You see,
organizing.
yeah. Versus, I think just leaving things randomly.
But that's not what we were saying. That's why I wanted Charlene involved,
No,
because the town would have to be involved in this to allow us to put them places. But we also are going to put a whole bunch of them into the food pantry,
That's a great idea.
so that when people pick up
They
food,
can
they
pick
can
it up
also
at the Samson.
get that. And we're going to. I know that the farm stand is staying open a little bit later this year. There might be coal, so we'll bring hats and scarves and stuff there too, and just say if you need them.
Okay, well, think about
With the
this
Thanksgiving
further, see where we
basket.
carry
And you
this.
can think about it,
You do.
The
I
whole
guess
week,
what they
yeah.
did here,
Good
it was
idea.
more of a surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, involving the town is
Well, I
is
wanted to
good
ask
for
permission.
support, but it actually is kind of neat to just do it.
Oh, yeah, that kind
And
of.
everyone's like,
It is
that's
kinda neat.
the art of surprise.
But in this town, I don't know how much you can surprise, you know, you kind of have to get permission for things, to hang things all over the place, right?
You just stay anonymous. We never had this kind of
Right.
thing.
I don't know, is it on the?
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay.
Oh,
worry
well,
about it.
just
Well,
an idea.
Any other new business? Thanks, sir, for bringing that up to us. Any other new business?
Because I
Okay.
was wondering if
Yes.
we could have, I don't know, is that cabinet still empty on the other side of there? I was wondering if we could have some sort of, revolving exhibits, maybe of collections people have in town.
I would love that. I put that out there so many times.
How about autographed books?
Love it.
All right, I'll bring you in a bunch of autographed books and see maybe if we start something.
You could do a display.
We could do
In
it.
the summer, we use it for our summer reading, but
Right.
during the year, I'd love it.
All right, I have a lot, maybe I'll pick something like the mysteries or something.
I have a
you know,
lot too.
And see what we can.
That would be great.
That's what happens when between your office and the train station, there's a mystery bookstore.
With
I have
authors.
All right, well, something to think about. That's great.
Yeah, that would be
That's
fun.
another idea.
Perfect.
Okay, now, I have some sad news. I cannot come to the next meeting. It's the first time in 4 years I've missed a trustee meeting. It's my fault. November 18th, I will not be here, so I will not be available. And I asked Joe if he could step in for me, and he is not going to be available. So,
We
yeah.
have it all done.
So can we look at an alternative date then for November, all of us, so that we can have a quorum here? You will not be here on the 18th either. Okay, well, that's good, then I mentioned it. What other dates do you like? Do you have your
We were
calendars?
thinking that Monday.
Okay, so the Monday is the 16th. I will not be here actually.
But how many?
Monday after?
Monday the 23rd.
I'll be here the 23rd.
Yeah, that is Thanksgiving because I'm going away
That's
for the week.
Thanksgiving week.
You were going away for the week, okay.
That's
The
23rd.
23rd I can be here. It's Monday.
But we were thinking maybe the Monday of that week instead of the
Well, this is the
Wednesday
Monday,
before
the
Thanksgiving.
23rd.
Oh, it is the Monday?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the Monday before
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
that's
I
perfect
know.
for me.
Can everybody make it, or most of us make it on the 23rd? I'm
can.
sorry to do this to you. I've been here for 4 years. I've never missed a
Monday.
trustee meeting. This is a first. But I have to be away, so. Yeah. Sorry.
Fine by me.
Yes,
I got it in
good.
the calendar.
Oh, good,
Sue,
we can do it.
okay?
Yeah, Monday.
Okay, the 23rd, Joe?
Same time,
Yes,
7.
Kim? 23rd, 7 o'clock? Okay, Julianne?
Maybe for me.
Mondays are not good for me, but don't.
Okay. And not for you, you'll be away, right?
No, it might be.
Okay.
I might be able to. I don't know.
All right, we'll see what happens, no problem. All right, I think we can pretty much get a quorum then, so should we do that, change it to the 23rd?
Yes,
And could you put the
yes, I will.
information out so that's sent out and everybody else has it? Sure.
So it's that Monday before Thanksgiving.
It's November 23rd at 7 p.m. So, thank you all, I'm sorry to do that to you, just to have to see.
What do you need? This one?
Okay, so can I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting, please?
So moved.
Thank you, second? Okay, our meeting is adjourned. Everyone, let's go Mets!